Hi everyone, welcome back to Intermediate Ukulele with me, Matt Stead. In today's video, we're going to take a classic pop song, Back for Good by Take That, and we're going to apply all those brilliant concepts that we learned last week about playing better, and we're going to apply them to this song. Furthermore, we're going to learn a really neat way to take one chord up the fretboard to really easy peasy lemon squeezy turn it into another chord. We're also going to look at a really clever technique where we can keep one note down the whole time that we play chords around it. And it sounds super nice. It's a classic trick that loads of ukulele and guitar players use and can teach you how. Now this is a really simple song. In fact, most of the song is just the same four chords played again and again. So we really need to find ways to spice that up, otherwise it'd be really boring for us to play and really boring to listen to. So we're going to look at all sorts of techniques where we can take those simple four chords and elevate them to another level. Those four chords are often referred to as a 1, 2, 4, 5 combination. That just means in the key of F we use the first chord, the second chord, the fourth chord and the fifth chord. And in the key of F we have F, G minor, we don't play A, B flat, C, F, G minor, B flat and C. And amazingly, that's what the chords are in that order again and again and again. F, G minor, B flat and C. The only difference is rather than a G minor, we're going to play a G minor 7, which sounds super nice. So the chords will be on the screen. I'll talk you through the first bit. We're going to look at the chorus first because the chorus we're not going to muck about with too much. It's pretty much those chords played simply again and again and again. So the first thing we need to do is get those chords and transition between them as neatly as possible. So the first one's dead simple. We'll talk about strum patterns and whatnot in a minute, but just get used to your left hand for now, how the fingering's going to work. We have an F major. The next chord is a G minor 7. This might be a new chord to some of you, but to access it from an F major is really easy. What you do is you flatten the index finger so that it covers the bottom two strings. That's the E string and the A string, the ones nearest the floor. And your second finger comes down and it plays this D note here. It's the second fret of the C string. Okay, so it will look like that. Remember all of our good practices: ukulele at 45-degree angle, straight arm as much as possible, circle so there's a bit of daylight between your fingers and your thumb, which is on the back of the neck, not at the top. And that will allow you to just press down using the tip of this finger and flatten here. So flatten against the bottom two strings, this one up here. Notice one more thing, this finger, to create a comfortable position for my hand, isn't flat like this. Notice when it's flat, my arm has to come right in. It's slightly angled, but it's towards the right hand side of the fret over here. And then this one up here. Practice getting a nice clean sounding G minor 7. And notice from an F chord, I simply flatten down this one and add this one here. So F, G minor 7, F, G minor 7. Perhaps pause the video for a few seconds and take the time to practice changing between those two chords. The next chord in the song is a B flat chord, B flat major. Remember, if there's no number or letter after a chord, it means a major chord. So just B flat means B flat major. And normally I've taught you this before in the other videos using a bar over the first fret and then your second and third fingers here on the C and G strings. The dots are on the screen. Now, this can be useful because you can turn this B flat into a B flat minor or a B flat 7. Or B flat minor 7. There's a lot you can do when you've got this bar, but sometimes the economy of movement and the smooth transition in a song is more important. And let's notice something. If we have a look at this G minor 7 chord that we were just doing, do you notice that all we need to do to turn it into a B flat chord is to bring our third finger and put it on the third fret of the G string? Okay, so G minor 7 can become B flat. The only difference is this note up here, which is a B flat note. G minor 7, B flat, G minor 7, B flat. Fantastic. So sometimes it's easier to go for economy of movement, keep things simple. Okay, so that's what we're going to do for the B flat chord. So far we have an F chord. We flatten down our index finger and move this finger down for a G minor 7. We reach up with our third finger for a B flat. Now the next chord is where things get really, really interesting. Well, I think so anyway. The next chord is a C major or a C chord to finish off the whole progression. Now it's not too difficult, is it? But it's kind of a big jump going from there to this C chord here. And it's quite a different sound in terms of timbre as well, because we've got all of the strings covered here and lots of open strings here, which produces a different sound because this low C really booms out. But we can use things that we've learned in terms of movable chords to turn this B flat into a C really simply. I'll show you how. Remember when we looked at movable chords, and I'll put a link in the description to my video on movable chords. A movable chord, at its most simple, is a chord which features all 4 strings of the ukulele, so every string is covered with a finger. And what that means is you can move that chord up. Every finger goes across, you can move it up a fret, and it becomes the same chord higher in pitch. And that's a movable chord. Now, if we know this chord is a B flat, if we move it up 1, it becomes a B, because that's the next note in the chromatic scale. And because there's no B sharp, the next note we would get to is C. So to play a C chord, we can quite simply take this B flat chord and move it up 1, 2 times. So this is B flat, and this is C. And it's quite simple, isn't it? Keeping the same shape and moving it up. The one thing you do need to do in terms of technique is after you've played that B flat chord, just release some of the tension in your fingers as you move up. So you're squeezing, removing the tension, moving up and squeezing again. That just makes it easier for these fingers to move up. If I keep squeezing too hard, they'll kind of trip over themselves and they won't go up nice and neatly. So that gives us the chord progression that we're going to use for most of the song. And this is the chord progression that we're going to leave untouched for every chorus. We have F, G minor 7, add that finger and move across for C. F, G minor 7, B flat, up 2 for C. Keep that going, join in with me. F, G minor 7, add the finger for B flat and move it up. Keep that going. That's lovely. Whatever I said, whatever I did, didn't mean it. I just want you back for good. Want you back, want you back, want you back for good. Whenever I'm wrong, just tell me the song and I'll sing it. You'll be right and understood. Want you back, want you back, I just want you back for good. It's that simple, that's the whole chorus. Now, in terms of strumming, I'm going to show you a clever way to take a very simple down strum and kind of spice it up a little. Let's have a look. In terms of the rhythm of this song, it's very straight. It's like a kind of a really nice straight sound which builds up the tension. This is really common in modern pop music. I've really come to notice that in recent years. A lot of what we play on the ukulele, we add swing to it. It has a kind of laid back swing rhythm. But that's too kind of happy-go-lucky and kind of old-timey for this song. It doesn't suit it at all. So we're going to keep things straight. And a really simple way to play straight is to play straight 8s. That just means that we're going to do quick down strums using our nail side of our index finger. Now, imagine if we were playing 4s, if you like, where we just strum every time there's a number. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Notice I'm just strumming on the numbers, not on the ands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down and down and down and down and. Well, it's called straight 8s because we strum 8th notes, which are twice as quick basically. But the easiest way to think about it is we're strumming on the numbers and the ands. I'll show you what I mean. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so we've got down, 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And all I'm doing is just very lightly brushing my nail over the strings, roughly where the body meets the neck. That gives us that nice sweet dolce tone. That's one of the things we looked at last week. We want a nice warm tone in this. Sometimes you'll notice that I might drag more than one fingernail across the string. Sometimes I use 3, just to kind of thicken it up. And the other thing you'll notice is that sometimes I'm not strumming all the way over all 4 strings. I'm just kind of concentrating those nails towards the top middle strings, so perhaps the G, C and E strings. Okay, it's a very simple way of strumming straight 8s. So if I put that together with the chords, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and F, G minor 7, E flat, C, F, G minor 7, B flat, C. Now for those that find it easier, I've printed out the song on a printable PDF. You can find the link in the description below so you can follow it along, but you can also just play the chords that are on the screen. It's the same 4 chords along again and again, so you'll soon get the idea. But notice that the chords, there's 2 chords per measure. So that means we're going to play 1 and 2 and, then we're going to change to the next chord, 3 and 4 and, 1 and 2 and, 3 and 4 and. So if I put it together, you can get an idea of the sound and perhaps have a listen to me playing it through once and then join in. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and F, G minor 7, B flat and C, F, G minor 7, B flat and C, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's it. That's pretty much the whole song. But we can't just leave it like that. We need to spice it up, don't we, and add some dynamics. That's the basics, and that's what we're going to play in the chorus. Now, on occasion, in amongst all those down strums, those straight 8s, you might hear the occasional up strum to thicken it up a bit. So you might hear something like this. Or it might even be a bit more extreme when I'm getting a bit more excited in the chorus later on. Now, I'm not going to be prescriptive about this, and this is for a very specific reason. I want you to start thinking about when to add these up strums to build in the drama. And it's really simple what's happening. Remember when we play a down strum, I'm just going to stay on an F chord now. Remember when we play a down strum, we can think of it as walking. Walk, 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 walk. Now, as we do those walks, as we do those down strums, if I slow it down, your finger's already coming up, isn't it? Each time you go down, you've got to bring your finger up for another down strum. And to add an up strum, all you need to do is touch on the way up. It's that simple. And you're just touching the bottom couple of strings, really, not all 4. So instead of down, 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 we could add a little up at the end, couldn't we? Down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down, down. Now, rather than thinking, oh no, am I on a down or am I on an up? And that's, you know, that's what I really, really want to avoid in these lessons as much as possible. Think of it as walk, 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 running, walk, 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 running, walk, 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 running. Okay, so anytime there's a running, we're hitting the up strum as well. It's that simple. And that's a brilliant, brilliant thing of this straight 8s way of strumming. I want it to really, really empower you. I use it a lot in the way I play. You can add those ups, those runnings, wherever you want. So instead of walk, 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 running, if we want to really create some drama, we could add loads of runnings. Running, running, walk, running, 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 walk, running. Or we could just do runnings. Running, 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 running. That's the beauty of it. You can drop in those runnings wherever you want. The most common ways I do it is I add one right at the end of 4 downs. 1, 2, 3, 4 up. Walk, 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 running, walk, 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 running, walk, 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 running, walk, walk, chorus is getting really kind of built up with dynamics, I'll add running, 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 walk. Running, 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 walk. Running, 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 walk. Running, 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 walk. But I want you to experiment with your own. Just start with downs, and then where it feels appropriate and the energy is building in the song to create those dynamics we talked about last week, add a few of those up strums. You'll get more of an idea as we go along. Don't panic if you didn't get that straight away. So we're going to go back and look at the verses now. Remember from last week, one of the concepts we looked at was dynamics. And it's really important that you add differentiation between the verses and the chorus in a song, especially if they share exactly the same chords, which they do in this case. So what we're going to do in the verses to make them different from the chorus is we're going to play a C note constantly whilst we cycle through the chords. Okay, so I have F with a C added, G minor 7 with a C added, B flat with a C added, and a C chord with C added. I'll show you how in just a second. This is a really common technique which is used in the guitar world. In fact, if you watch a famous example, if you watch Noel Gallagher playing Wonderwall, you'll notice that in fact he has two fingers down here and all of the chords are just formed by these two fingers cycling around. The reason it works is slightly complicated and I don't want to go into too much theory, but what is interesting to know is that the fifth note in any scale, and we're in the key of F, so we go for the F major scale, F, G, A, B flat, C. That fifth note, the C note, doesn't clash with any of the chords. I can play a C whilst I'm playing an F. I could do it whilst I'm playing G minor 7. I could do it whilst I'm playing an A minor 7. I could do it whilst I'm playing a B flat and a C and so on and so forth. It doesn't clash with any of those chords. There are some notes from a scale that do clash with chords. Do you remember when we were looking at the pentatonic scale? The pentatonic scale took out the 4th and the 7th scale notes because they clash with certain chords. Because this C doesn't clash with any of the chords, we can just leave it down the whole time. Isn't that clever? Let's take a look at how we do it then. So what we're going to do is we're going to play a normal F chord, and we're going to take our little finger, or our pinky if you like, and we're going to place it on the 3rd fret of the A string and strum. Now, don't sweat the theory, but because there is already a C note in the F chord, an F chord is made up by the notes F, A and C, this is just another version of an F chord. Now, the G minor 7 is slightly more complicated. Because we're going to put our pinky down on this C position, we no longer need this double bar that we're doing at the 1st fret, because this note here cancels out this note here. There's no point in playing both at the same time, right? So what you can do when you do the G minor 7 is you can now lift up that index finger. It doesn't need to bar those two strings on the 1st fret. It can lift up. So from nose to toes, we've got 0, 2, 1, 3. Now, the reason why I do that, you don't have to. You could keep that shape down with the double bar, okay, and do it like that. But the reason I tend to lift up is it's more comfortable. And it's really nice to use this first section to have a bit of a break, because in the chorus, we're playing some tricky chords where you have to push down quite hard. And it's really nice to give our fingers a rest in the verse. So this is really simple to do. So that also means, there it is, there's our G minor 7, okay? I can lift up there, I'm not pushing down. That also means when we come from the F chord, all we need to do to change from the F chord with our little finger down to the G minor 7 chord with our little finger down is literally just move that 2nd finger down. Here's F, here's G minor 7 with the C added. F, G minor 7. Now this chord, we've actually created a new chord. It's actually a G7 sus4, but I don't want you to stress that. Just think about it as a G minor 7 with a finger added. Just in case you see it and you think, oh, it looks different in a book. When we add the C note, we're turning it into a G7 sus4, but just think about it as a G minor 7 with your little finger added. That's important. I don't want to stress the theory too much. Okay, so we have F, just move that finger down, G minor 7. The next up is B flat, and we're keeping that little finger where it is, so this is dead easy. We just need to add our 3rd finger to the G string at the 3rd fret. It's that simple. So we have F, move down for G minor 7, add this finger for B flat. And again, don't stress this theory, but if you are into it, it's no longer a B flat, it's a B flat add 9, but don't sweat that, just think about it as a different form of a B flat, okay? And now the last one is really, really easy. We just take all of these fingers off and leave our little finger where it is. Ta-da! And we have a really simple C chord. So let me go through that one more time really slowly. Little finger stays here the whole time on this 3rd fret of the A string, and we have an F chord. I just move this 2nd finger down for a form of G minor 7. I add the ring finger to the 3rd fret of the G string for B flat, and I take it off for C. Now, the reason this sounds really lovely to our ears, it's really attractive to listen to this way of playing, is because there's two things going on. First of all, we've got the constant sound of this C. If I really highlight it. It's there the whole time whilst the chords change. And our ears love juxtaposition. You've got the juxtaposition of the chords changing, harmonic movement there, but a kind of static note here that doesn't move at all. There's another cool thing that happens. We have movement on the G string, but not on the A string, because notice that when you hit the G string as you strum, we have this sound. If I really highlight it, can you hear that? Almost like a little melody. So we've got loads of melody happening up here, but no melody happening on the A string. And our ears love that juxtaposition. That's why it sounds so nice. Okay, so let's practice that with our straight 8s down strumming. Okay, come in with me after 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. F, G minor 7, B flat, and C. So that's F, 2nd finger down, 3rd finger on and off. And F, down, 3rd on and off. And F, and down, 3rd on, and off. So once you get the hang of that, it's quite simple, and it really does give your fingers a little bit of respite from what we're doing in the chorus. You might help to kind of just pause the video and go through that a few times so you're really, really comfortable with it. So if you've downloaded the song sheet and you're following it along, don't worry about trying to follow the lyrics through in time. It's got really interesting phrasing in terms of the lyrics, and they don't always match up very simply and easy with the chords. So just think of it as that pattern 3 times, first of all. So we've done it once, twice, 3 times, and then here is where we have a little bit of change from the chorus. We've got some extra chords in there. Now, this is kind of optional, so if you really struggle with this first bit, don't panic, just keep doing that round and round and you'll be fine. But notice on the 4th time, we have a slight change. We have F as it was, G minor 7 as it was with that finger added, B flat as it was. Now, instead of just playing a C for the same amount of time, we have a sneaky F before the C, okay? And that's just to add a little bit of variety. That's something that Gary Barlow has done, I think, on piano, and it does keep it interesting. So that line, the 4th line, will sound like this. F, I'm slowing it down. F, G minor 7, B flat, F, C. Okay, so let's try that one more time. 2, 3, 4, F, G minor 7, B flat, F, C. Notice they're both for 1 beat each. F and C, 1 and 2. Okay. After that, we've got another line of just playing what we did all the way through the verse. F, G minor 7, B flat, and C. And then the final line for a bit of variety before we go to the chorus. Notice I'm still keeping my little finger down. We have a D minor 7 chord, which is a D minor chord, and we're keeping that little finger there, which actually turns it into a D minor 7 anyway. Then an F, a B flat as we would normally, and then we've got our quick F, C. So this line, D minor 7, F, B flat, F, C. Okay, so have the song sheet in front of you. If you don't have the song sheet, you can follow the chords on screen anyway. So we've got 3 lines as normal, then a line with that quick F, C, another line as normal, and then the line with the D minor 7 at the start. It's not too bad. Once you get used to it, there's a lot of repetition there, so you'll soon pick it up. Should we have a go? Let's have a go. 1, 2, 3, 4, F. Down, third, off. F, down, third, off. F, down, third, off. Now this time has the quick FC. F, down, third, F, C. Normal one, F, down, B flat, and off. Now D minor 7, F, B flat, F, C. Okay, practice that round a few times. You might want to pause the video and go back and try that a few times, but that's all we're doing for the verse. Once you've got it for good, right? And remember that little finger is staying where it is the whole time. Now, just before we try piecing that together with the chorus, let's have a look at a very quick intro. We're going to keep this really simple. It's the chords to the verse, so F, with our little finger added the whole time. And then when we get to the B flat, we're going to put in our quick F, C change. Okay, so we have F, G minor 7, B flat, F, C. And again, F, G minor 7, B flat, F, C. And that's it. It's just that progression played through twice. Let's have a go. 1, 2, 3, 4. F, down, third finger, F, C. F, down, third finger, F, C. That's it. That's your intro. Okay, let's try piecing that together. What I'd like to try is the intro, the verse, and a chorus, and we'll see if we can piece that together. Remember, the chorus is the chords as we learnt them the first way, and we're going to move up here for our C. Okay, let's give it a go. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Intro. F, down, B flat, F, C, F, down. Here comes our first verse. I guess now it's time for me to give up. Feel it's time. Got a picture of you beside me. Got your lipstick mark still on your coffee cup. Oh yeah. Got a fist of pure emotion. Got a head of shattered dreams. Gotta leave it all behind now. Whatever I said, whatever I did, didn't mean it. I just want you back for good. Want you back, want you back, want you back for good. Wherever I'm wrong, just tell me the song and I'll sing it. You'll be right and understood. Want you back, want you back, want you back for good. Okay, that might take a bit of practice. I don't know about you, but when I went to the chorus, I had to think, oh gosh, I've got to remember to do these chords in the chorus. But you'll soon get it. You can always write them out as chord boxes on your sheet. So that gives us our intro, our first verse, and our first chorus. Next up, we have another verse and another chorus. And what I want to do is use these two parts of the song to concentrate on some of the concepts from last week. First of all, articulation. So articulation is how you attack notes or chords. And what we're going to do is we're going to really vary it from the verse to the chorus. quite simply. It's not going to be anything too complicated. So this time when we do the verse, keeping our little finger on the C the whole time, I want you to make the strums as light as possible. We're still strumming where the body of the ukulele meets the neck, but I'm going to really ease off. I'm hardly touching the strings. I'm keeping it feather light. In fact, sometimes I even just strum the top 2 or 3 strings. Okay, so that keeps things nice and light and really simple. So you've got unaware but underlines. I figured out the story. Notice how it just brings everything down. On the chorus, we're going to go for the opposite. When we go to the chorus, we're going to go back to our normal chords and we're going to strum all 4 strings the whole time. Concentrate on strumming a little bit harder with a little bit more volume. So it creates a little bit more drama. Again, that's dynamics, but we're using articulation and tone to affect those dynamics. The other thing you can do on your chorus is you can also add more up strums. Remember the beauty of straight H strumming where we're just going down? Is at any point we can add ups. Down, down, up, down, down, up. So you might even find instead of walk, 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 you might even find for the whole of the chorus, you're running the whole time. Running, 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 running. So it just adds like a bit of intensity. So I'll tend to strum more runnings on the chorus to keep things interesting. So have an experiment when we need to do the next bit. Try it a few times round and add in your own dynamics, building up when we get to that chorus. Let's try another verse and a chorus then, keeping it very, very light on the verses. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Unaware but underlines. I figured out the story wasn't good. But in the corner of my mind, I celebrated glory, but it was not to be. In a twist of separation, you excelled at being free. Can't you find a little room inside for me? Whatever I said, whatever I did, didn't mean it. I just want you back for good. Want you back, want you back, want you back for good. Whenever I'm wrong, just tell me the song and I'll sing it. You'll be right and understood. Want you back, want you back, want you back for good. Well done, guys. Excellent. So we've got a little bit of dynamics happening there. We're using articulation and tone to change our attack, which is fantastic. So that's brilliant. We've got an intro, a verse, a chorus, another verse and another chorus. That's quite a lot of song already. Quite often songwriters at this point will introduce either an instrumental or a middle section which varies slightly from the normal chords. It's often referred to as a middle 8 because it tends to be 8 bars, but in this case we've got a little bit longer than 8 bars. What is interesting is that it often starts with the change chord. When we go back to looking at functions of chords, the 4th chord, in this case we're in the key of F, F, G, A, B flat, that 4th chord gives the song a feeling of change, and that's what happens here. We have a B flat chord. Now, one of the things that we looked at about becoming a better player last time were chord and note choices. Now, this chord is another B flat, I just mentioned, and we've played a B flat. We've played it this way with our little finger added, and we've played it this way without. It's nice if we can alter it one more time to create yet a bit of differentiation again. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to turn this B flat into a B flat major 7, quite simply by lifting our index finger. So we're playing from nose to toes, 3, 2, 1, off. Now there's no finger on the A string, no double bar. So you got B flat major 7 will look and sound like this. Notice having this note here, this 7th note. kind of adds a wistfulness to it, which matches the feel of the song at this point, and it sounds really, really lovely. So the start of the middle A is B flat for a whole measure, then F for a measure, B flat again, major 7, and F. Do that one more time, and an F. Then the next line we have a D minor, and we're just going to keep a bog standard D minor because it does sound great here. F. We're going to do another of those B flat major 7s and finish with a C. Now we really want to give this a really decent bit of volume, so I'm going to do lots of up and down strumming at this point, and we're going to give it a bit of volume. Let's give that a go. If you've got the sheet in front of you, you can use that, but chords will also be on the screen. Let's give it a go, remembering to lift off so we get that sound of the B flat major 7 rather than your bog standard B flat. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll be together. This time is forever. We'll be fighting, and forever we will be so complete in our love. We will never be uncovered again. Apologies for my vocals and that. Oh my goodness, this one's high and hard to sing, but if it's hurting too much, just put some earplugs in for that bit, you'll be fine. Notice one other thing I'm doing. When I hit those chords, the first beat of each chord, I'm really coming down with all my nails. And this is that rolled strum that I taught you in an earlier video on the course. Basically, at its essence, what I'm doing is rather than just coming down with my index finger, I'm dragging all 4 fingers over the chords and fanning them out as I come down. Again, changing the articulation. And adding a sense of drama, which is really crucial at this point in the song. Notice at the end of this midsection, we have 2 measures of C. Now, what I like to do is play 1 measure of C all the way through. And for the second measure, I strum once and pause. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now that's that space we talked about in the last lesson. Remember, what you don't play is as important as what you do play. And that creates a big juxtaposition. We've got heavy chords, lots of volume, high singing, and then suddenly, never be uncovered again. Everything stops, changes the feel of the song. And that's really, really crucial. Adding dynamics yet again. We're nearly there, folks. You've done so well if you've kept up with all this. Next up, we have 2 choruses. Now, everything's dropped down, right? We were just saying how that space dropped everything down after a really busy midsection. When we come in for the next chorus, and we've got 2 in a row, let's make the first one nice and light. That down up strumming going, but let's keep it super light so it feels like we're easing back in. And then when we do the second chorus after that, we'll bring the volume back up. Let's have a try. So 2 choruses. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whatever I said, whatever I did, didn't mean it. I just want you back for good. Want you back, want you back, want you back for good. Whenever I'm wrong, just tell me the song and I'll sing it. You'll be right and understood. Want you back, want you back, want you back for good. Now a bit louder. Whatever I said, whatever I did, didn't mean it. I just want you back for good. Want you back, want you back, want you back for good. Whenever I'm wrong, just tell me the song and I'll sing it. You'll be right and understood. Want you back, want you back, want you back for good. That brings us to the very last bit. Ta-da! we've just got the outro. Now the outro is the same as the intro, only the second half has some vocals over the top. So we're doing basically the same chords as the verse, where we're keeping this little finger down and nice and light. That bit again, with that quick FC. And the second time there are some words. I guess now it's time. And notice if you've got your song sheets that we slow it down here. We play a normal F to finish, that you came, normal C, back, and then a normal F to finish for good. So the outro, if I play it once and then you can have a go. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess now it's time that you came back for good. Okay, not too difficult. Let's try that together. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess now it's time that you came back for good. We've done it! So before we put everything together, just a very quick word on the song sheet. Remember, the words are phrased in such a way on this song, quite cleverly actually by Gary Barlow, he's a clever man. They're phrased in such a way that they're quite difficult to follow over the chords. So just remember that it's mostly those same chords again and again, just played differently. F, G minor 7, B flat, and C, okay, in various ways. If you get stuck and you can't remember the F to C bit, that quick bit, just play C and you'll be absolutely fine. Just keep things simple. Really what I'm getting at using this song is getting you to work out adding dynamics and thinking about different chord choices. So if you have a song with 4 chords all the way through, you think of different ways to play them each time and make it interesting. If you are ready, I'm going to put the whole thing together now. So remember, we have intro, verse 1, quiet, chorus, a bit louder, verse 2, quiet, chorus a bit louder. We'll really go for it in the middle 8 and hit those chords hard. Then we're going to have a quiet chorus, a slightly louder chorus, and the outro. A lot to think about, isn't it? But just follow it along and have fun. If you haven't got all the dynamics, don't sweat. Just give it your best shot and enjoy it. Here we go, come in after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess now it's time for me to give up. I feel it's time. Got a picture of you beside me. Got your lipstick marks still on your coffee cup. Oh yeah. Got a fist of pure emotion. Got a head of shattered dreams. Gotta leave it all behind now. Whatever I said, whatever I did, didn't mean it. I just want you back for good. Want you back, want you back, want you back for good. Whenever I'm wrong, just tell me the song and I'll sing it. You'll be right and understood. Want you back, want you back, want you back for good. Unaware but underlines, I figured out the story. It wasn't good. But in the corner of my mind, I celebrated glory, but it was not to be. In the twist of separation, you excel at being free. Can't you find a little room inside for me? Whatever I said, whatever I did, didn't mean it. I just want you back for good. Want you back, want you back, want you back for good. Whenever I'm wrong, just tell me the song and I'll sing it. You'll be right and understood. Want you back, want you back, want you back Whatever I said, whatever I did, didn't mean it. I just want you back for good. Want you back, want you back, want you back for good. Whenever I'm wrong, just tell me the song and I'll sing it. You'll be right and understood. Want you back, want you back, want you back for good. Whatever I said, whatever I did, didn't mean it. I just want you back for good. Want you back, want you back, want you back for good. Whenever I'm wrong, just tell me the song and I'll sing it. You'll be right and understood. Want you back, want you back, want you back for good. I guess now it's time that you came back for good. Whoa, well done if you made it all the way through that. It's a lot to take in, wasn't there? And a lot to try. And that's the really important point. I want you to experiment with this. You've got the chord sheet, you've got the chords. You can experiment. Maybe try playing the verses without that extra C added. Maybe trying the chords in the chorus voiced slightly differently. It's yours to experiment. And that's the really important thing. I want you to think about this space, tone, articulation, dynamics. Every time we tackle a song, we want to add it. It's not about playing it perfectly, and I didn't play it perfectly. I can't sing that too well, as you can probably tell. It goes very high, and some of my changes weren't perfect, and that's absolutely fine. It's about learning these ways to express ourselves musically when we play, and that's the important part.